Good day. I've been teaching Adobe Illustrator since 1987, 32 years. The mistake most teachers make is they confuse you with too much nonsense. My objective is to get you up and running in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you'll understand more about Illustrator and how it thinks using my proven method. So here we go. The first thing we're going to do here is bring up our rulers. Anything about rulers is seeing. Seeing rulers, Command R or Control R for Windows. Now, the reason I do this is I want to drag a series of guides here to create objects. Now, important step before we go any further, make a change, save a change. As you make changes, save changes, Command S, Control S. Okay, let's get started. The way Illustrator thinks, Illustrator is an object-based program. Objects are vectors. Therefore, anything about the object is under the object menu. It's that type of thinking. Now, you'll see that most things are grayed out because I haven't created any objects. So over here on my palette, I have object selection tools, object creation tools, and object transformation tools. So I'm going to start out by creating an oval. I can do that by hitting the letter L, and I'm going to create an oval from the center by holding down the Option key for Macintosh or Alt key for Windows. Now, if you want to constrain that as you hold down the Option key or Alt key, hold down the Shift key as well. So I'm going to share with you some really cool things in the next 5 minutes of how Illustrator thinks. Now, this is my stroke. This is my fill. So I'm going to come up here to fill, and I'm going to fill this with, say, red. And I'm going to stroke this with yellow. So fill and stroke. Now here is the key to Illustrator, and here's the key to being productive with Illustrator. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to increase the size of the stroke by hitting the up arrow keys. You'll notice as I do that, it increases the size of the stroke. Now, if it's easier for you to see the stroke, let's change that to a different color. Let's make that maybe this green color. Okay, return key. Now, here's how it works in a nutshell. Make a change, save a change. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to transform this object. I could transform the object many different ways. Now, before I go any further, I want to share with you that the first tool I select in this palette is the direct selection tool. I get that by hitting the letter A. Now, from that point, if I go back to my ellipse tool, you'll never see me select that tool again. I can simply hold down Command key. Excuse me. So if I select these anchor points right here and I hit Command K with Command K on Macintosh, so every time I move my arrow keys, I want to move 18 points. So I'm going to move this up 18 points, and just like that, I can add the Star Trek logo. Now, we're almost done with the 5-minute tutorial. So now I can basically take and adjust by holding down the Command key. I can change these anchor points into any direction I choose. But here's the magic to the program. So anything about the object is under the object menu. So anything that falls under this category is known as transformation. What's not part of this category is cloning by holding down the Option key. So as an example, if I was to move this object, I can repeat the transformation by hitting Command D. Command D repeats the transformation. Command D, Control D for Windows. Command Z, undo. Okay, so let's say as an example, I'm going to go to R for rotation tool. I'm going to pick a point to rotate from and rotate around, holding down the Option key to make a clone copy and holding down the Shift key to constrain it. So what I've done is I transform the object. So anything about the object menu, transform again, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D. Now, if I want to select, I can select all. Command A selects all. Now I can go to the scale tool, hit the return key, and I'm going to scale this down to say 80%. Return, and Command D, Command D, Command D. Command Z would undo, Command Z would undo, Command Z would undo. Now if I hit the scale tool again, in this particular case, I'm going to make a copy. So I can make a copy, come up here and change the colors. And Command D and change the colors. So this is how Illustrator thinks, one step at a time. Now let's say as an example, I'm going to scale this down. I'm going to go a little bit over 5 minutes here for a second. So I'm going to select all, hit the scale tool. Let's scale this down to say 20%, 30%. I'm going to hold down the Command key, move this here. Let's go back to our rotation tool. Now I'm going to rotate from this point holding down the Option or the Alt key on Windows. If I click right here, here's where the magic happens. Okay, and again, it gets you to think the way Illustrator thinks. So let's say I want to have 17 of these. So I could simply say 360 divided by 17 and make a copy. There is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Our 5 minutes is up. So this gives you a great understanding of what Illustrator does. Anytime you're working with the object has to be selected. Anything about the object is under the object menu. So to be very proficient at the program, all you have to do is remember that this is an object, and based on these choices, what do you want to do? And if you're not sure what to do, let's find out what not to do. Now, we went a little over 5 minutes, but this is the basic understanding of how Illustrator thinks and how it works. You'll be a much more productive user. Thanks for being here. My name is Robert Farrell, Carpe Diem 2019.